Welcome back to Just Kidding News. Out of the closet, or uncloseted, or...
I like out of the closet.
Out of the closet.
Today, we're continuing with Bart, and we're going into a very fun topic, which is Bart's parents getting divorced.
Yeah.
This is the second, I guess, one of the second biggest moments in my life. It's my parents getting divorced, and it happened when I was 6. So it happened really, really young. And I just remember, I don't know what like the true story was, but I remember my aunt, which is my mom's sister, visiting from Taiwan. And my mom was like, okay, my aunt will just sleep with me. Daddy sleep on the couch. And for some reason, obviously, you know, like as we all have relationships now, fights are never about the fight. It's always about some other bullshit. Explodes, mom screams, dad screams, whatever. And I remember seeing my dad bring his hamper with a bunch of f***ing clothes and the bright orange Tide detergent thing, leaving the house, and then me not knowing how to register it, and then just realizing, oh shit, he hasn't come back in like 3 months.
Months?
Yeah. Wow. And then going, oh, like me and your dad are gonna get divorced. You're gonna stay with me, and I was like, oh shit, okay. And I think I was too young to register the weight of it. So I wasn't like sad or throw a tantrum, and I'd always read like, you know, like at school, the teachers always be like, you know, it's not your fault. And I'm always like, I know it's not my fault, it's my parents' fault. So I never like took it upon myself like, oh, what did I do? I was like, my parents are dumb. But from that point on, my life trajectory changed really, really weird, which made me extremely unrelatable to all my other friends. Because all my other friends, their parents lived together. But me, since we had a 4-bedroom house, to make ends meet, my mom started renting out the rooms. So now they call it house hacking. But back then that wasn't really a thing, and you would have to like go to like the Chinese supermarket and you make like a little flyer, and you know how you like write your phone number?
Yeah, with the tabs?
Yeah, with tabs, and rip the bottom. So growing up, ever since I was a kid, we would have random strangers just circulating throughout the house ever since I was 6 years old. So it'd be like grandmas, like grandpas, middle-aged dudes, young, like, yeah, just like all kinds of people, all walks of life in my house, watching TV, using the kitchen. So like my house never ever felt like my house. So that was like really weird. And there's a part of me that's like, I wish I could be one of those cool liberals that have like a molestation story, and I would like think about it. And I don't think I ever got molested though. I wish. Cause y'all people that be like, I got molested. Check it out. I wrote a book.
Yeah.
Then
I monetize this.
I monetized this molestation, but I never
Monetize my trauma.
I think that's them just being productive with their trauma.
Oh,
but ultimately, I know what you mean.
But I never.
Well, you got physically abused. I mean, that's another good one.
By my parents.
Yeah, you could write a book on that and monetize it.
That's true. Not if you're Asian. Question.
It's too common for Asians.
At the time of the divorce, did you feel like you were closer to any parent?
Oh, for sure, my mom.
Oh, okay. So
my
it
dad's
wasn't like
my dad's like the I would say like the stereotypical Asian dad. Like he just comes home, reads the newspaper, like he has his job, and you don't fuck with him. Get the fuck away from me. You go talk to your mom about shit. Like, so I never really felt close with my dad. The only time would be either him whooping my ass, or he randomly shows up with a big present. Like big gestures were my dad. Like he'd be like, here's Power Wheels. And I'm like, fuck, that's a big ass present. Damn. And then I'm like, are we gonna ride it? You go figure it out. And he leaves. I'm just like, because I have like this picture with me in like an electric car, just going like, oh shit, this is fucking sick. And then, you know, then I don't have any interaction for another month.
can't turn it on though.
Yeah.
Your dad doesn't want to help.
No, he doesn't even know how to charge it.
Like, I don't know, beats me. Dude.
Or like randomly, like I have a memory of like my dad taking me to Redondo Beach, and we're like just swimming, and then that's it. Just like really big gestures, and then the day to day is just me and my mom.
Was he there though? Like, so you say he takes you to Redondo Beach. Does he just drop you off at the beach and then he goes somewhere, or like was he there with you?
That was my dad.
Yes.
That's a good question. I'm not too sure.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah, so that part of my childhood was really weird. Where like whenever my friends would come over, they would always be like, "Wait, how come you always have a different person?" and then it was almost kind of embarrassing, you know, to go like, oh, we can't afford this house, so my mom has to rent out the rooms. And then they'll come over and they'll see one person in that first room, and then like a year later it's another person in that room. And then so it's just it always felt really weird. And then on top of that, because we had 4 bedrooms and we needed to rent out the other 3, I slept in the same bed as my mom until I was 13 years old. Until we moved, and I know Steve wants to crack a
Not
joke.
gonna do it.
But pretty much we slept in, and I remember getting to like 11 or 10 or 11. I'm like, man, this is fucking gay. And so I remember I was like, how can I ungay this? And I remember bringing a sleeping bag into the bed with my mom. I'm like, I'm gonna sleep in a sleeping bag because this is less gay.
So you're next to your mom, but in a sleeping bag, sleeping next to her?
Yeah.
What? That's even gayer, dude.
I don't know. I was trying to be less gay, and I was like, cause
Wouldn't you be hot as hell?
I was like, none of my fucking friends have to go through this shit. Everyone has their own room. No one has fucking strangers living in their house. Like the part that sucks would be like my mom would like chastise me about something, and then the stranger would like snicker. Like, yeah, that's right, tell him. And I'm like, dude, you wait till I'm fucking 18, I'm gonna kill you. Cause you would like, especially when they're Asian, they feel like they can chime in.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
True.
That's the worst.
Maddening.
You're talking with your mom, and then they're like,
Listen to your mother.
yeah, they'll be like, oh, I can only imagine if I said that to my mom. I'm like, bitch, ain't nobody talking to you, you know?
Damn.
Yeah.
Stay out of this.
So yeah, that part sucked. And then what was cool is all my close homies knew that I shared the room with my mom, but it was like something I kept a secret at school because it was so fucking embarrassing.
Well, now it's a braggable point. It's like sleeping with the mom, dude. That's what
That's braggable?
People Google that shit. That's like hot porn topics and shit like that.
Now everyone wished they could.
Yeah, that's it. You didn't know how good you had it.
Different era, I guess.
Gen Z all have dreams to sleep with their mom.
But how did your mom's like Buddhism stuff bleed into your into that era of the divorce and all that stuff?
So I think that's when my mom went cuckoo, where when my parents divorced, my mom, I've had like really deep talks with her, which is cool, and it always reveals funny things where like I would ask my mom like, how come you like brought me up this way? And she's like, well, you know, when your parents split, like in your mom, usually they have a mom and a dad, you only have a mom, but I chose to be your dad. Because I always felt like, how come I never have this warmth from a mom, and she decided to be the dad.
She overcompensated.
Yeah, and I'm like, why don't you just stay the mom? But anyway, so I guess she decided to be the dad and kind of give me this hard love. And so she adopted Buddhism, and in Buddhism, like when my mom dives deep, like she goes super into stuff, so she'll do like those be a monk for a day where you're like, you take a vow of silence for like 24 hours, and you're vegetarian for the whole day, you wake up at 5 and all you do is pray. And then she'll do those for like 2 weeks long. And ever since I was like 7 or 8 years old, I would go with my mom to those things. So we'd be like
Buddha boot camps?
yeah, Buddha boot camps where they're just fucking like chanting in this fucking like snake caterpillar type fucking formation for like 4 hours.
Damn!
Going like back and forth. And then you're waking up at 4, exactly, you're getting steps in.
That's a plus.
Buddha boot camp, dude.
You wake up 4, 5 a.m. And I remember going like, I don't have my own room. Sounds entitled, but I was like, I don't have my own room. I sleep in the room with my mom. I have random strangers. And then my free time is praying. And then when I come back home from school, because I got into so much trouble, my mom thought a demon was in me. So she would conduct her own exorcisms.
Oh my god.
So I'll be in the kitchen, and she'll like light incense and chant shit. And then she'll like douse like holy water on me. And then that's when I was like, dude, this life fucking sucks. And then I remember 8 years old, I stayed home from school one day because I was sick, and then I wrote this whole letter out. Mom, the reason why I'm gonna kill myself is blah 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 blah. I wrote all this stuff out, and I got my mom's, the Chinese cleaver. Because the only way I knew how to commit suicide was like cut your wrists, and I was like, this will only take one time, and I've seen this cut through fucking Peking duck. This shit's gangster. So I remember taking it, going into my mom's room. I left a note, and then me envisioning myself slit my wrists. Maybe I was like semi-Buddhist or whatever. I envisioned myself going to heaven And then looking down and then seeing my mom come home and see my body on the floor and with a pool of blood, that made me cry. Wow. It made me sad to see my mom sad. So because of that, I put the cleaver away. I went back in the kitchen and I took the note and I tore it up. And then, but I was like this close.
How old were you?
8.
Damn.
Had I not had, because that was also the same time I got kicked out again.
Yeah.
So had I not had that, like envisioned that, I would have just went through.
That's hella a mature thing to do. Have that presence of mind to like actually go through with what would happen, like in your own brain. That's
The empathy,
crazy.
all that, yeah.
Yeah, I just felt like my life was like completely not what, literally, like if you step out of my door, because like I lived on a street where all the friends lived there. So there's this like Korean kid that lives over here, half Chinese, half white kid that lives over here, a Hispanic kid, Indian kid. And when I would go to everyone's house, everyone, regardless if their backgrounds were different, it felt very similar. You know, like everyone kind of lived life the same way, just in their own Indian way, own white way, own whatever way. And I'm like, out of all of these guys, I'm actually the odd one out. And I live my life completely unrelatable to everyone else. And I just feel like this shit fucking suck ass. So that's when I, like really, really contemplated suicide when I was like 8 years old.
That's crazy.
I didn't even know you can kill yourself at 8 years old.
Well, if everything is different, everything sucks ass. You get your ass beat every day.
Yeah.
You have strangers in your house laughing at you, and then you go to school and you can't even really share. Like, hey, I sleep in the same bed with my mom in a sleeping bag. Like it's like there's just no outlet, you know.
Yeah.
Like I don't. And by that time, I already got kicked out of 2 schools, so I'm already going to another school where none of those kids even live in my area. Because when I went to Cerritos and Concordia, yeah, like those kids lived in my area. By that time, I'm already like, I live here, but I go to school on this side of town. So I was just like, I have no one to vent to, talk to, relate to, or anything in my life.
You have your own space.
I don't have my own space. My dad's not even there. And when I do see my dad, he whoops my ass because he gets updated on what I did at school. So
Did he have joint custody where he saw you, like you guys had like
On weekends?
yeah, whatever?
he can see me on Tuesdays and Wednesdays.
But he didn't always.
He did.
Oh, he did.
So my dad was actually very, very responsible. He always saw me on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, no matter what.
Okay.
And then on Wednesday he would hide at the Ethan Allen clocks.
Which one?
The Wednesdays you would hide in the Ethan Allen clocks.
Yeah, how soon after was that?
And on Tuesdays
It was weekly.
No, that was like, that's maybe when I was like 10 or 11 when I, shout out to that thing.
Can you recall like what life felt like after choosing not to commit suicide? Was there?
Yeah, did it change your perspective?
It feels weird because it feels like either I could have ended it all or now I'm made the decision to just take it. And then so I've just made the decision to just take it and
So
that's
what
it.
happens at age 14 that finally gets you out of your mom's bed and into like your, you know, like your own space or whatever?
So I don't know why we did this, but we ended up moving to another house. I don't know if my mom was better financially. So we ended up moving to another house, and when we moved to another house, she was like, hey, you can have your own room. So that was like, oh, cool. I have my own room finally.
This was in Cerritos?
Yeah, we moved from Cerritos to another house in Cerritos. But we still had one other roommate. And it was the guy that I hated the most. He ended up still going. His name was Henry. And I would tell my mom, like, dude, when I turn 18, I'll whoop that fool's ass.
That's better than I'm gonna murder him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that way you can get tried as an adult. That's really smart.
Way to work around the law.
Yeah, so I
Yeah.
ended up getting my own room there. But even then, it's still kind of weird rules. Like, my mom didn't let me put anything up on the walls. So it's just bare. She like...
Is that like a belief, like a
been a rental.
superstition?
It's
Yeah,
like
she-
a, I own this house thing, right?
She doesn't want... She says if you put things up on the walls, you'll get distracted and you can't focus. So I couldn't put anything on the wall.
Periodic table.
That's what's happening
I
here.
couldn't paint the walls. I couldn't put anything up on the walls. I couldn't decorate. I couldn't make anything my own.
Damn.
Damn.
Do you do that now with your spaces? Like, do you make them your own, or do you?
I think I'm so used to it now that I live with it. So it's so easy for me and Gio to not get into any arguments over interior decoration.
Oh yeah, well that's because guys don't give a fuck. But I'm saying, do you have a space like in your house that's like you decorated in any way for you?
Gym.
Maybe the gym. And that's probably why I always modify every single car I get. That might be it
Yeah,
now.
I think so.
It kind of makes sense now. We're like,
Or why you modify your body?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, body modifications.
yeah.
I have a question for when you're a kid. During this whole time that you had like a suck ass childhood, were you watching other kids on TV shows?
So my mom used to tape the TV.
Tape the TV.
She wouldn't allow me to watch TV, so she would tape it with like this paper. You know the fax machine paper you have to rip off the side? It comes out like that.
With the dots on the side?
Yeah, with the dots. She would tape it so I can't watch TV when I come home because I'm supposed to be studying. And so I never got to watch any of the after school shows. I was only able to watch TV after my mom came home. So I only watched like Wayans Brothers, Wayans Brothers or like
It's brothers.
like Family Matters or whatever. But yeah, so that would be, I guess that would be like the ideal TV family, right? Like Full House, Family Matters or whatever.
Yeah, so like when you saw the lives of those kids being so different from your experience, how did that feel?
That was exactly, that made me go, oh, my best friend across the street, his name is Mark, he's like half white, half Chinese. His life is literally like that. Like
It's the white side.
On the weekend, yeah, his dad's white, so they did the right thing. But you go outside on Saturday morning, and the dad has his like mountain bike out. He's working on it. Mark's working on it. His little sister is just running around eating a popsicle. His older brother's like shooting hoops. You know, like all just happening in the front yard. And I'm like, damn, that's a family. Whereas my mom's fucking chanting and shit in the fucking in the back, trying to tell me to come back inside and chant. And
Dude, your mom's just a Gen Z white girl. Like, it wouldn't be that weird now.
Just do it before it was cool.
She's ahead of the time.
Yeah.
And then I guess the only thing that like, what was cool was my out with my mom is she liked things that were productive. So if I was like, I want to go play basketball, she'll be like, okay, go ahead, because she thinks it adds up to something. So that was like my outlet where I could go hang out with my friends,
Basketball?
or just anything like
Sports.
Hey mom, I'm gonna go outside and jump rope. She'll be like, sure.
Oh, yeah.
You know, go jump rope.
That was your freedom.
But like games and things that she thought was like,
Yeah, like
Not
can I play
for
video games? Nope.
I see.
Yeah.
Did you even have video games?
No, I never had video games. Like, can I go hang out? Like, what are you guys gonna do? We're gonna jump rope together. Oh yeah. Go ahead.
After the divorce happens, do your parents ever do anything together with you again, like during your childhood?
Only when I got kicked out of schools, they would both have to be there for parent-teacher conferences. That's the only time.
How romantic.
So you never saw your parents be affectionate with each other even when they were together?
When I was little, like 3 or 4.
What do you remember?
I remember them like hugging or like holding hands. And I remember like one of my fondest memories of them together. My dad had a Chinese restaurant in East LA, and I remember my mom would come at night when he was closing, and we would go to the Pioneer's Chicken across the street and get corn on the cob. And I remember my mom holding me, and I would just eat corn on the cob while my dad's like closing up shop. That's what I remember
for sure.
Yeah.
Is that why, like, when you told your mom or your parents that, like, you were gonna do, like, a comedy YouTube channel, they were like, what the fuck? But then when you're like, I'm gonna start a gym, were they, like, proud?
No, because my mom's also religious. She's like, you're gonna break your back. You're gonna break your back, break your neck.
This is like jump rope times a million, though.
Can't win out here.
Well, it's got to be. It's like, you know how like Asians are. You can't be too anything. It's like, it can't. I want to be Mozart. Oh no, that's too much. Just play a little bit where you can impress my friends.
Nailed it, dude. You fucking nailed it.
Just enough to impress my friends. But if you go,
Yeah, but be a doctor or something.
Do you know what
Get out of my head.
Do you know what your dad and mom's individual actual ideal dreams were for you?
my mom wanted me. Yeah. My mom, because my mom's friend's son, I think was that. He was the kid that would be like Wong Fu, like just perfect Asian boy. Aced it at every extracurricular activity he did. He got a full scholarship to USC. He goes to med school. Now he's a doctor. So now you have to call him Doctor this. So you have these titles. And he was older than me. So my mom would bring me to their house a lot so that he can rub off on me. Wow. But it just felt so unrelatable because like I have like those type thoughts, you know? Like if if something's presented, I already start thinking outside of the box on random things, and I can just see him like sit at the table like, just he's just so good. I'm like, damn, this fool's just so fucking. Like,
He's the kind of guy that we fucked up.
yeah, I'm like, I wanna be, but inside, I'm like, I want to be a golden retriever too, because they're so good. I'm like, why am I like the fucking chihuahua, like biting loafers and shit, you know? I'm like, why the fuck am I like that?
When did you start robbing houses?
I think like 15. 15, yeah.
Okay, so that's actually lines up with you have your own room now, and then you get with the wrong kids or something, and you guys just start robbing houses.
No, it was. I think the house robbing. It's like baby steps. It starts with it's like multiverse.
Oh.
So when you're like 8 or 9,
He's been watching movies, dude.
you start climbing. You know, you start climbing walls.
Yeah.
The walls that connect to other people's houses.
Yeah.
So that's like your first getting the daredevilness out of you, and you can kind of see into people's houses and stuff. And then you have that, so you already kind of get your feet wet there. And then when you're older and you realize people have valuable things, then you're like, oh, I can use that skill I had as a kid. And then because like, you know, you would climb those walls with your friends, and then the first time you're just climbing a wall and looking. And then the next time you'll be like, oh, you want to climb the wall and jump, get that ball. The next time, oh, you want to see if that door's unlocked? So it goes up and up and up. And the next time, like, oh, you want to go inside? So by the time I'm like 9 or 10, I've already been inside random people's houses. So when it's time to come rob a house, it's like, it's easy. It's like, oh, dude, this time I just got to go inside and take shit. Easy.
Don't worry, folks. We're good. We're about to get out of Bart's childhood because I think we've all been through the trauma now of it for at least 40 minutes. But we are going to go into how Bart got in the military, which kind of bleeds into the house robbing stuff. And we will be back after we sell you these ads.
Thank you.
Thank you.